I'm Imani Williams. I'm head of community outreach at American Outlaws Austin chapter. My AO story really starts 2010, USA versus Czech Republic, Rentschler Fields. At that point, I hadn't heard about American Outlaws. And so I go to this game and everyone just seems awesome. Everyone's having a great time. You're chatting with people, having a good laugh. And I just remember being on the opposite side of the stadium as AO, looking out at this like red mass of people. And they all looked like they were having the best time. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the stadium, I had somebody telling me to like sit down and not make as much noise. And I said, I'm never not going to be in this section. Every single section for a US game, I'm going to be in the American Outlaws section because I want to be around people who are just as passionate as I was. From there, it just went everywhere. But that was my first game. A capo or a capo, basically what you do is like you're there to amplify the supporter section, make sure everyone's excited for the match, make sure people know the songs, people look to you to sing the songs, so like they're getting their lead, like we start the songs for the whole stadium. I get chills every single time I get up here, like every single time. Being a capo, for me, the most exciting thing is definitely getting other people excited, and I want people to have one of the best experiences they've ever had at a sporting event. Every single time I get up here, if I see people who look like they're not engaged or I see people who kind of look bored, I have a challenge in front of me because I want them to be hyped up and excited by the time that we leave the stadium, win or lose. I think the best feeling is that even if the result doesn't go your way, people still leave the stadium happy and fulfilled. There's not a lot of female capos in the world. US Soccer and I think American Outlaws has done a phenomenal job at elevating female capos. We want more female capos. And knowing that we're at the forefront of the world in terms of women being involved in the supporter culture is one of the most important things to me. There's a disconnect between, there's black people that play soccer, but having people support it is totally different. People worry about the ability to have their own cultural expression. There's a handful of us, I think, at the forefront of the US soccer movement who are black, and like, it's important for us to be seen. It's important enough for us to be part of the conversation because it's all American culture. For me, I think being a black woman, it was different than like being a black man. There were many more black men. To this day, like, I think there's only like 3 black women that I know that regularly come to US games. Like 3. It's really easy to deal with racism when it comes to strangers. It's not easy to deal with racism when it comes to friends and people you know. As we kind of try to be like one nation, one team, I think that, you know, having those conversations are important, especially in the supporter culture, because like we have to talk to one another. I'm a big fan of over a beer diversity. Like, we've got to talk to each other. We want to like make sure that we're coming from a place of love, but also in that place of love, other people have to listen. I think Crystal Dunn has said in a lot of teams she was the only black girl, and I felt that way a lot growing up. I felt like I was almost always the only black girl. I think I was so used to it that it actually helped me be in soccer environments because so often I was the only woman. And like US soccer environments are probably one of the few atmospheres where I was not the only woman, and that helped me feel more confident and more at home with the situation. To have US soccer as a place that I could go where I could just like be myself and thrive, I think that was important because like being able to have like a leadership position and be trusted with a leadership position within the US soccer landscape, I just felt honored and I felt like I had to live up to that. It means a lot to kind of be someone that future generations can look up to, just the way I did, looking up to Brianna Scurry, looking up to Kobe Jones. A black girl somewhere is going to see Crystal Dunn on a TIFO, and it's going to be a huge moment for her having that representation. And so having a hand in like helping design that TIFO, having a hand in painting that TIFO and raising that TIFO was huge, and that's part of your capo duties too, is to make sure all that stuff comes off. One of my favorite parts about soccer in general, US soccer and American Outlaws, is just all the people you meet and all the places you'll go, and where you go will follow, you know.